let's make this design. All right, so I'm gonna make a book holder. So this is 10.5 by 13.5. Then I have a piece of white cloth. It is 10.5 by 8. I also have this bias strip. So it was 2 inches. I folded it to the ends meet the middle, and then I folded it in half again and just ironed it. I didn't stitch it, I just ironed it. I'm going to stitch it when I put it on here. Now I'm going to figure out where my lines need to go, that my bias tape is going to start and stop. So what I'm going to do is fold the top part down about maybe half an inch, and I'm just going to crease this ends so that way I can fold it the same length again. Fold it over one more time and crease, and then one more time and crease. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. Now I'm going to mark this top line right here because that's where my bias tape is going to start and stop. Now I'm going to start with my bias tape and I'm going to cut at an angle. Then I'm going to measure in about, oops, 1.5 inches. I forgot to do this. About 1.5 inches. Oops, right there. And 1.5 inches. Same thing with the other side. Measure 1.5 inches. So I don't want to sew my bias tape close to the edge. It'll look funny whenever I go to put it both sides, put it all together basically. So I'm going to start here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little bit. But I'm going to measure my bias tape. So lay it flat, and then you're going to cut, whoops. I want it just above the line because I'm going to stitch across that line. Now, both sides should be at an angle. Now I'm going to match them up and just cut all the way down my bias tape. By the way, this is about 32 inches long. 2 inches wide, 32 inches long. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the top of these. And I want these to be flat against the line, so that way they have a little bit of a diagonal going to them. After I sew the top, I'm going to sew the middle of each strip, so that way it doesn't puff out. After that, I'm going to sew the bottom of the strips, just straight across that line basically. I'm going to put this next one down here at the bottom, line it up, and then I'm going to put one on top of that. So it'll look like this. Then I'm just going to stitch across. We're just going to do the same thing. Put one right here. And then put one on top of that one. Oops. Like that. And then stitch again. Now we're going to stitch these guys down. And I'm just going to lift my presser foot, come back up here, and now I'm going to do the next one. And I want to try to get the needle in the middle of the thing. Oops. And I'll just continue on until I've got all of these sewn down. From here, I'm going to sew this bottom line that I have marked. Now I'm going to go through and cut all my strings. Don't forget the back ones. Next, we're going to fold this down. So we're just going to stay on the creases that we made earlier. And then we're going to sew once at the top and then once at the bottom. I'm just going to leave my needle up, lift my presser foot, turn this around, and start sewing down the bottom part. Now I'm just going to do the same for the other side. All right, and there we have it.